So you might have seen that there was a fairly pathetic protest in Mexico the other day, and it was like extremely overblown in the media and on social media in a very weird and unnatural ways that make no sense given how insignificant it was. And it seems to like basically be like a really haphazard, shitty psyop that is trying to like piggyback off like the Indonesia and Nepal protests by using the symbols that they use there. It's just like TikTok trends now. Like protests are being used as TikTok trends. Like one protest movement starts with like using some symbol, and then like other people elsewhere in the world see it on TikTok and they're like, whoa, I'm gonna do that in my country. And they just keep doing this, and it's like a chain until eventually like you get like a bunch of like the stupidest people in the world with no coherent politics, protesting for they don't even know why, and using the symbols of like the original protest. This basically seems to be what's happening in Mexico, but with also have an element of it being like a psyop. The source of these protests is this Twitter account, which I'll show you in a second. Not this Twitter, I mean this Twitter account was set up like a week ago basically. Let's see if I'm allowed to scroll through it while I'm logged out. Generation Z Mexico, and started like making posts like, we're organizing a protest in Mexico City on this date. And the rest of the tweets aren't showing up for me here because I'm not logged in. But I looked through the account, and it's like an older account. It's an account from August 2024 that curiously has no tweets before about a week ago. And the only tweets that it does have from before that are retweets, which are all like pro-Venezuelan opposition, anti-Maduro retweets. So I think it's pretty clear this is an account that was repurposed from like an account that was dedicated to tweeting against the Venezuelan government, which was repurposed in order to like try and do like a social media psyop to get like really stupid people protesting the government in Mexico, which is extremely popular, by the way, like 80% approval rating. It's very clearly like a right-wing attempt at like regime change, just in the most incompetent and stupid way possible. Because obviously, you can't just regime change a government with 80% popularity. That's not going to work, you know. If they tried that, they would probably end up all getting killed by like a mob of angry people that outnumbers them like 1,000 to 1 or more. And the protests were quite small. Like people are using like misleading camera angles to make them look bigger than they are, which is pretty normal in this sort of situation. And this is like the sort of pictures that they've been posting to try and make it look really big. Like an overhead picture of a crowd that's like 500 people who are just like standing there and like jumping around and hurling rocks and shit at the police. And then when you get like a wider shot, it's clear that they're not even coming close to actually filling the plaza. Pretty typical sort of thing that they do here. And they're calling it like a Gen Z protest. And then when you look at like videos of the people who are there, like most of them are old people actually. A Gen Z-led uprising, they call it. Gen Z riots against Mexico president. And then look at the people they're interviewing. She's Gen Z. Is this a Gen Z? Are these people Gen Z?
Another main focus of protest is Carlos Manso, former mayor of Michoacán.
This is the oldest Gen Z people I've ever seen, to be honest. So it's a small protest against an overwhelmingly popular government that's started as like a random psyop on Twitter and on other social media. And it's being framed as something that it's not. And like it's some like big popular protest movement. And the people there clearly have no fucking idea what's even going on or what they want. They don't even know why they're there. Like here's just a little bit of a selection of the people who I like the most. Someone holding a haphazardly drawn American flag with help on it. I wonder what that means. Please invade our country as soon as possible, Mr. Trump. Help! Help, America! Please invade Mexico right now. Yes, this is very organic. This is definitely not CIA. This is the least CIA thing I've ever seen, honestly. And there was this guy. This is what I mean when, like, the symbols just mean nothing. These people don't fucking know what's going on. The incoherence of modern politics summed up right here. A symbol adopted by, like, a protest movement in Indonesia, like, months ago, which at least had, like, a legitimate tipping point, which was, like, this horrible government that, like, supports Indonesia's former dictator, and, like, the cops killed someone or multiple people or whatever it was, which spurred street protests. At least that sort of makes sense. This is just like, they're using the symbol that they use in Indonesia for those protests, but so far divorced from any of the meaning of what it might have meant to those people, that like you have a Nazi with the same symbol and just like hanging out like, hey guys, check me out. The USA invade our country. I somehow doubt the people in Indonesia wanted like Nazism and they wanted the USA to invade their country. I don't know if that's what they were asking for. It's just like a TikTok trend. It's like a TikTok dance for protesting. Except in this case, most of the people who are doing the trend are like 50-year-old boomers. I shouldn't call them boomers. I'm just as old as they are. Very despective of me. And it's being boosted by like fucking Alex Jones, all the usual right-wingers and stuff. I saw someone saying this was like a repeat of the American Revolution, which was extremely funny. Here it is. Like this far-right Twitter account. This made me die of laughter. Not that the American Revolution was good, but I mean, at least it was like a successful regime change operation. Comparing this to that is really comical. Breaking news: the Gen Z revolution in Mexico is now being compared to the American Revolution. Are you fucking kidding me? Was the American Revolution localized to one plaza in one city and made up like a bunch of geriatrics and Nazis? Many of the revolutionists are furious that a woman who is not Catholic is running their country. Oh, I understand what's going on here. And they are the first Mexican generation to have access to the information they do. Are they? I don't think this is the first generation of the internet. The citizens of Mexico are demanding a full separation from cartel control and are willing to die for it. This is the fourth Gen Z revolution this year, following One Piece-inspired revolutions in Indonesia, Nepal, and the Philippines. Man, like the only one of those protest movements that actually really did anything was Nepal, and like to call that a revolution is already fucking nothing. But what does revolution mean now? Just like I'm right-wing and I see a video of people protesting over dumb shit for dumb reasons. It's a revolution. And like on the day of this protest literally lasted like a couple of hours. Here is what the plaza looked like at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Here's what the plaza looked like an hour later at 4:30-ish. 4:20. You can see the timestamp in the top right. I guess Mummy was calling them home, or maybe all the geriatrics had to go back to the old person's home in time for dinner. But yeah, this is just a dumb little psyop. They're probably going to hold like another dumb protest again in the same plaza in a couple of days. They're already trying to organize it. It's a sort of thing where like it's going to just die down over time. Until then, you might have like some morons who show up there, and every single time it happens, it's going to be like, the Mexican Revolution continues, being posted by like some dumb American Twitter account and like repeated uncritically by the American news media until everyone forgets this ever happened, because it's just nothing. It's a total fucking nothing burger. Did I just say nothing burger? Indeed I did. What are you going to do about it? I'm adapting to the times. I'm adapting to the youth these days. Soon enough, I'm going to be telling you to go to Pokemon go to the polls, and it will be full circle. I will have become Hillary Clinton, just as every old person does eventually.